Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 24th December 2016. The first article, in Unequal Music, A Beautiful Society. This is related to the caste and its role in India. Now you know that the caste is all pervasive. It exists in music, it exists in handling of human excreta. So there are two famous people who won the Raman Magsaysay Award this year. That is Mr. Bezwada Wilson and Mr. Krishna. Mr. Krishna was working on Carnatic music. Wilson is working on the manual scavengers. So in this case, if you observe the role of the caste, so what it does in a society, the social endosmosis is a concept. It was given by Mr. Dave in explaining the impact of democracy on education. What he said is, education shall provide for the social endosmosis. It means that there has to be a free movement of ideas, thoughts, knowledge across different social groupings. That's what the education does in a democracy. So, this caste is a major force that hinders this movement of ideas, thoughts across the groups in the country. So, the second thing is how we shall come out of this particular caste system. So, Mr. Nagaraju has said as self purification and self respect. The self purification, it means a person who believes in Brahmanism has to come out of it and move away himself from the hate towards the untouchables. And self respect means, in spite of whatever may be the discrimination, whatever may be the hardships, and Dalit shall not lose his respect for self. So, this self purification and self respect, these are the two things Mr. Nagaraju has proposed for. So, Mr. Krishna, who is by birth a Brahmin and who tried to take the music, Carnatic music, to its origins, where its origin lies in the tribal societies, rural India, he has tried to, or his approach is self purification. And Mr. Bezwada Wilson's Safai Karmachari Andolan is close to self respect. So that's what he tried to bring in similarity between. From our exam perspective, we need to know Safai Karmacharis, what are the various laws made in prohibition of manual scavenging in India. And the second is, we have to understand the role of caste in Indian society and why the caste is still existing or getting itself deepened in India. What is caste identity and caste consciousness? So these are the things we need to study. And how we need to fight this caste, these things also need to be added to this article. And back to class 10 board exams. Now, my question is, what is the purpose of an exam? Purpose of an education? We need to make the younger generations ready for the future, and we have to nurture the creative skills in them so that they can explore the world and make the society progressive. So, in this case, exams are just a test, an yardstick to measure one's creativity. But however, the education's end has become an examination. So education end is creativity and knowledge, but exam has become the end of the education, and which has led to the stress on the minds of the children. So in this case, the CCE, comprehensive and continuous evaluation, was proposed and it is practiced now. In this, a child is not evaluated with a one-time board examination. He is evaluated by the respective teachers who are in touch with him periodically. And in the process, any mistakes are there in his learning process, they will be attempted to be corrected by the parents and also by the teacher. So it means a kind of a flexibility exists for the teachers to do the same in, in assessing the children. Again, if you bring in a public examination, it brings in uniformity and a straitjacket approach to deal with different attitudes and mentalities of the children. So, child-centric education, it talks about providing for flexibility in the school environment in assessment of the mental and other skills of the children. So, this is a retrogressive step, we can say. And let's go into the main paper. Niti Aayog rolls out health index. Now, if you see, the government is coming up with many indices. If you talk about cities, based on the green index, or else to what extent cities are maintaining the cleanliness, they brought in an index. Now they are talking about health index. Previously, we had the pollution index. Now, what is this health index is? Now, in India, we do not have proper cross-state comparisons. The government is talking about competitive federalism, where one state has to compete with the other state in growth and also in achieving the developmental progress. So, for this competitive federalism or competitive approach, we need comparative perspective of performance. For this, Niti Aayog is developing the indices. In line of this, we have this health index. Now, coming to how India lobbied Moody's for ratings upgrade but failed. Now, I don't want to get into the politics, what has been happened. So, let's think about this way. Today, our growth is our growth is facilitated by the flow of investments. These investments come if our sovereign ratings are high. It means if the investment climate is good and business friendly environment exists in the country, then we can see a flow of investments into the country. So, ease of doing business index, India has tried to improve itself on this, but last year there is no significant improvement, and we can expect an improvement this year because of rolling out of GST and also other slew of measures, insolvency bill, etc. But especially the banking situation in India is very much worrisome. The banks are the major source of financial intermediation, but however, the non performance assets, the government debt, all these have made India to get a lower ranking with regard to the Moody's Standard and Poor rating, both of them. Now, let's come to the today's news articles. Today, actually, there are no much news, but however, I tried to make few of them and try to go through what is the role of the caste, and then how we shall fight this menace of the caste in Indian society, and what is the centrality of education. Like these questions are being asked. If you are preparing for interview, try to answer these questions to yourself before the mirror, and you are try to make your thoughts flow on these issues. By and large, when the interviewer asks the questions, if your choice is teaching or something, hobby is teaching or education or reading, the focus will be shifted towards that particular, ultimately towards the education system in India. So it means you have to prepare your mind, your thought towards these questions. Thank you very much and all the best.